Let me show you how to create a one-page website in just 5 minutes. And now you might be thinking, hey, this video is much longer than 5 minutes. Well, the process I can explain in 5 minutes, but I'm not a great designer. And in fact, I'm no designer at all. But I'm going to show you the concepts and also take some time to explain all the things you can do, even if you want to build a simple website. So the 5-minute rule is actually true. I'm going to demonstrate exactly in 5 minutes how to build a website, but then you can take your time and understand and go through the process and figure out how do you want to do it and how much time you want to spend on building a website. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is set up a website with some hosting and a domain name. That is required for you to have a website which is live so that everybody can actually view it, instead of you building a website on your computer, which only works on your computer and nobody else can access it. So what I'll do is explain the process so that you get a hosting for a ridiculously low price and get a domain name for absolutely free. But you have to follow the instructions I'm going to share. Otherwise, you will pay a little higher price and you will not get a domain name for free. Okay, so just follow along. So what you have to do is go to the URL I'm going to type in here. So let's type in https://wp beginner.com/refer/Bluehost. This is the URL. If you use this URL, then you'll have this is a special link using which you'll get a special discount code. So make sure to use this. You don't have to type it out. You can go in the pinned comment or even look at the link in the description and you'll just find that link and click on it and you'll reach the same page that I will once I click here. So let's press enter. And this is going to take you to a special page on Bluehost, not page. And it's so easy to set up a website and install WordPress and hosting. I'm going to show you the process. It takes just a minute. So you can see here, you have a free domain for a year. You have free SSL. You have one-click WordPress install, which I'm going to demonstrate as well. And it starts as like $199 a month. So it's crazy, ridiculous pricing. By the way, I already have an account, so I'll just show you the process on how to do this. So if you want, you can click the Get Started Now button, or you can scroll down. And you'll see a few different options. So you can get a basic website. And if you have, let's say, you expect more people or more website traffic, then you can use on the other plans as well. And by the way, you can build more than one or more than like 10 websites on a single plan. So most of the time, if you're just building a website, just a one-page website, you should start with this and you don't have to pay a lot. So I'll click Choose Plan. And this will just go through the process of figuring out, hey, this is your billing, this is what you do. And what you should also do is figure out a domain name. So if you already have a domain name, you can check this box. But if you don't have a domain name and you want to register one with Bluehost, just type it in and you can make a few searches to figure out which domain names are available and they'll be added to your account. And then when we build a website, which I'm going to demonstrate, you can just choose that domain to set your website up with. I'm going to skip this part because I already have an account, but I'm just telling you that you have a free domain name here. Just enter your name and search for it and choose the one that is available and you'll have it with free using this special link. So I'm going to click Choose Domain Later because I already have the account. Let's go through the next process. Then you have the basic checkout process. Just like any other website purchase you do, you have a checkout process. Just make sure the pricing is correct. And there might be some upsells on the page. So make sure that you choose the ones that you like and you think are useful, and just skip the ones that you don't want. For example, you see professional email trial. You don't want that. After a month, it's going to charge you. So I'm going to just delete that just for example. Again, if you want professional email, you think the price is correct, you figure it out and then you just use it. All right. Then you have a couple of other options as well. Content create solution. You have cloud-based backups as well. See if whatever you like, just include that. And then you can double check if the pricing is correct. So subtotal, savings, tax, and the actual price is this, which is exactly what I promised, $199 a month. So you have to continue to check out, enter your billing information, and create an account. And once you do, you'll get an email from Bluehost say, hey, your account is created. This is how you log in, blah, blah, blah. And similar to how any online purchase you can get an account on Bluehost. So once you have an account on Bluehost, you can actually log into the Bluehost account, which is where we'll start building a website. So I'll take you directly to that place now because I'm already logged in another tab. And this is how the account is going to look like. So you can see here that I have lots of websites created. I'm going to blur some things on the screen. And your admin area might look different. So make sure you're in the websites tab here. Otherwise, it might look different. And of course, you will have this completely blank. So you won't see anything. But the process is similar or exactly the same to build a website. You can see this button here, Add Site. I'm just going to click on it, and if your account is empty, I'm pretty sure it will be, you might see a big button here somewhere. So make sure to just find the button which says Add Site and click on it, and this will start the process. And make sure Install WordPress is connected, and that means we could build a website on WordPress using free tools. Again, we're just paying for hosting and domain name is free. We're not paying for anything else right now. And Install WordPress collected, and just click Continue. And then we have the site title. And site title is something you can always change. I'm going to name it something so that I can actually find the website from all the websites that I have. So I'll say 5-minute site by Yuvraj. Okay, so this is my 5-minute site by Yuvraj. So this is an easy title to remember. And I'll click continue. And now we have the choice of the domain name. So if you purchased a domain name, you had a domain name, or you selected a domain name in the previous step I mentioned, you should have that connected in your account, but not with this website. So what you have to do is enter the domain name here and then just click continue. And that domain name that you just connected will be connected to this website automatically. So instead of going to the DNS, changing the name records or changing A records or CNAME records, which is technical, everything is done for you. I'm going to choose a temporary domain because I'm not connecting a domain, but you should choose option 1 to enter domain name. So I have this option selected. I'll just click continue. And now basically the building part of the website or the technical stuff is done. You see the website or WordPress is installing already. It just takes a minute or two. And once the website is done, you will see a notice on screen here, website is done, and we can log in and we'll also see some settings, which we'll go through. So once this finishes, we'll resume the video. I'm going to demonstrate what to do next to actually build our one-page website. So in just a minute, the website is now built, and I just made a search for it. And I had a couple of websites before I actually started making this video. So I had one more website with a similar name, but the one we made right now is called 5-minute site by Yuvraj. So I'm going to click the edit site button, and this will open up the website in a new tab, and it'll open up the backend. Let me demonstrate that. And we can also go into the settings of the website and demonstrate and go all in. But right now we don't need to touch the setting. So once the website is loaded, I'm going to show you the process of how to set up a website and start building the one-page website. So when the first time loading happens, you are greeted with this thing, which is Bluehost's AI Builder, which helps you actually design a website. But that's what you're here for, right? Let me demonstrate how to do that. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll just go here and you click this button, which says, I'm following a tutorial, take me to the admin dashboard. So which is where you can actually manage your website in the backend. It's called the admin area of WordPress. And this is what it looks like. So all this is basic WordPress settings. So everything here is based on WordPress and a couple of things installed. So what we're going to do is use one of our plugins that is available with WordPress, completely free, install it on our site, and we'll use that to design a website. So before we do that, let me also demonstrate how the website looks right now. So if I hover over this bottom left here, and if I right click, open or visit site, our current website is going to look like this. It's a very basic website. I'm going to show you how to create a one-page site and also replace this home page with that new site. So let's go back in. So inside the website, you don't need to worry about all the different things you see here. Just look at the plugin section, which is here, and go to add new plugin. And inside the add new plugin section, plugins are basically apps. Like you can download apps on your phone. You can install plugins on WordPress and have new functionality added. And all the plugins that you see, this is the WordPress repository. Basically, every plugin you see here is free. So what we'll do is go to search plugins, and I'm going to search for a plugin called SeedProd, S-E-E-D, prod. So SeedProd is a fantastic page builder plugin, which allows you to customize websites and build pages as well. So we're going to use that to build a one-page website. So let me close all of these things for now, right? So this is the SeedProd plugin here. You can see 4,672 5-star ratings with 800,000 active installs. So massively successful plugin. It's a very powerful plugin. Let's install it now. And it's going to take a few seconds to install. Let's wait for that to finish. It's done. Let's also activate the plugin. So when you start with the SeedProd, it's going to give you basically a choreographed experience to set up your website. But that's not required for this video because I'm going to demonstrate exactly everything that you need to do to get started. So what I'm going to do is click the exit setup, which will take us back to our site. And don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So once you install SeedProd and you exit, this is what you'll see. You'll see a new menu created here for SeedProd. There are a lot of settings here, but the one we're concerned with is the one that we are already in, which is the landing pages. Now, landing pages is basically an umbrella term for any page that the users directly land to, either from Google search or any other page. So in this case, the home page, the page we'll be creating is technically the home page or the landing page, or basically a one-page website. It's the same thing. The terminology should not be confusing. So we have options here. We'll ignore these options because they are not required right now. What we need to do is create a new landing page. So I'm going to click create a landing page. It's going to ask me some information. We're going to fill that information, and then we'll start building our page. So what happens here is we have a lot of different templates available. So what are templates? Templates are basically pre-built pages for you. So you use your pages or use those templates to create a page of your choice. Now there are a variety of these here. So you have coming soon pages, 404, and you can see a lot of different options here. Some are free and a lot of them are available with the pro version of SeedProd, but a lot of these are greatly or well designed as well. But what I'm going to do is actually start from scratch so that you have a complete idea of, hey, it's not that difficult even if I don't know design skills to create a website. So what I'll suggest is scroll to the top and search for the blank template, right? So you just click on the right arrow and it's going to ask for, hey, name this. So I'm just going to name this homepage for now. And that's going to be the URL. And we'll change it later. Don't worry. We can always change the title, name of the page, and how to create the homepage. So anything you add here doesn't really matter, or at least you can change it later as well. Once you're happy with that, just click save and start editing the page. And this will bring us to the editor, which will take a few seconds to load. And before the editor starts loading, let me explain how the editor works. So on two sides, you'll have two sides of the screen. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the editing options and basically the widgets or the blocks you can use. And on the right, you'll see the builder. So if you have played with Lego at any point of your life, you know how it works. You have a Lego block, you can stack them on top of each other to create something. Similar to that, using SeedProd's blocks, you can stack blocks on top of each other to create structures of a page. So if you see a page or see a one-page website, it has some backgrounds, images, titles, text, some icons. So that's how we are going to actually use this or all these things to create this website. So let me demonstrate the process. I'm going to show you in the beginning when we are just starting out. I'm going to clarify some terminology for you so that you can just follow along. And because once the concepts are clear in your head, you can actually do it yourself and do it better than me probably. So here is a blank section. Once again, on the left, we have blocks and sections. And on the right, we have basic right now blank section, right? So we have to select what kind of things we create. Now, depending on the kind of website you're creating, you will make different choices. Right now, I'm going to demonstrate a few different options to you. So on the layout section here, I'm going to choose a full column layout, for example, one row with no columns. We can do multiple columns as well. You can see here, there's a 60-30, then the 30-60, 50-50, or 33-33, different column layouts you can create. For this section, we can have multiple sections on a page. I'm going to choose the single section. So now we have sections. And to make sure that you understand the hierarchy of things you're adding, there's a pretty awesome feature here right here inside SeedProd. So if you follow my mouse here, you have the layout navigation feature. If you click on it, you'll always see what is happening here, and you can always identify how things are being stacked. So let's say, for example, that, hey, I want to add a couple of things here. I want to create a section with a nice image background and a nice headline. So let's start doing that. So what I'm going to do is, now we have this section created, and on the left inside the blocks, you have some blocks that you have access to. Now, there are a lot of blocks that are grayed out. You don't need to worry about them. They're advanced and they're available with the pro version. For now, one-page website, we just need a few blocks. So let's say I want to start with a headline. The headline is the first thing that people will see. So what I can do is just drag the headline block. Now pay attention. I'll click and drag it here. And inside the section that's created, I'm going to just move it around. And you can see the section changing color. I'm going to let go. And you see a new headline is actually created. And you can also see that inside the section, there's a row, and inside the row, there's a column, which is one column. And inside that is a headline. The structure might seem complicated at first, but you'll get the hang of it. It'll be easy to understand what's going on. All right. So now I have a headline. I can change it, but let's say, hey, I have a headline, and I also want a subheading. And then I also want, let's say, a call to action, like a button. So let's add those elements, and then we start customizing them. So just below the heading, I want the text. So I'll just drag it again right here and just let go. And now we see we have the text here as well. And then let's say I want to add button as well. So I'll just go here and add a button as well. So let's do that. And you can see that you can drop the button in between here. And even if you do, it's no worry. You can always drag it from the actual browser here, or you can just hover over these icons here and you have draggable options. So if you click and drag, you can still do this. So again, you can completely change things around and do everything like. Now, one thing I'd like to cover before we get started and actually designing is you also have options for global things, global fonts and global colors. Now, what does that mean? For example, right now, this is a basic font, right? The headline that we had, it's written in a basic font. Now I can change it. I'm going to demonstrate how to change that. But if I have to do this for every single piece of text I add, it's going to take time. So if you define page level settings that, hey, on the entire page, I want the options to have this font, this color, this size, is be faster, right? So that's what we can do here. So inside the settings options here, so what you can see, just follow my mouse here. On the bottom left, you see have a global settings option. So if I can go to global options, I can have fonts, colors, backgrounds, and custom CSS. So I'm going to just select the fonts right now. Colors we'll just change on our own. So inside the fonts, you have the header font and the body font. So I'm going to change the header font to, you have some standard options here, which are included in SeedProd, but you have the entire library of Google fonts also available to you. So if you see here, this is entirety of Google fonts available. There's a lot of fonts here. And I think the last time I was testing it out, I think I like the font called something with J. So let me find that in a second. All right, so the font I've selected for now is called Jost. And of course, we can change this later. I'm going to do the same thing for the body text. I'm going to change it and I'm going to scroll around and find the font. So there's too many fonts available, but yeah, that's the beauty of it. You have a lot of different fonts available. So let's go for Jost, and yeah. So now we have fonts done. So what we can do is now go back to our page settings. And for that, you can always click here in the design options or just click the 9-dotted icon here, which will bring you back to blocks. So now you see that the headline and the font are already transformed to the font that we selected. And now if you add new blocks, we don't have to worry about it. For example, if I hover over this, I delete this, and yes, I deleted it. Now I want to add some more text. And if I drag it here, now you'll see it'll have the default font that we just set. That's the beauty of global options here, that saves you time. So now we have created a basic section. Now it's time to beautify it, right? We are going to beautify it. And one thing what we can do to beautify something is add a nice background. So what I want is I want to have a full image stretched on the background on which the headline is actually placed. So now what I can do is, now this is where the image browser or layout navigation comes into play. Because we want to add a image as the background, we will select the topmost hierarchical object here so that the image can actually stretch out to the entire elements. So in this case, I'm going to click section. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the color coordination is actually will help you guide. So if you see, the sections are highlighted in purple color. So if you're hovering over a section, you'll see purple highlights. If you're hovering over a row, you'll see different colors. And even in the settings here, all the colors will help you guide that, hey, are you changing the right things or changing the right thing? The other way to actually navigate the settings is just click on something. So if you click on here, you'll see the settings change. I'm going to demonstrate some advanced settings here. But if I want to change the headline, I'll click here. If I want to change the button, I'll click here. If I want to change the row, I'll click here. Now it's the row selected. And if I want to change the section, I can just hover over the outline and select the row as well, or use the layout navigation feature. So make sure that the section is selected if you want to add a complete image as a section. So now that the section image or section settings are open, we have options here. So obviously you see the background. We can do a solid color, a gradient, a background color, or you can select a color, or you can upload your own image. All works. So in this case, I already have an image that I have on my computer. So I'm going to just click the use your own image, and I'll just upload that image on the website. So I have this image. I've just had this. I'll just drag and drop it here. It's a small image. And now I can just select it. And now we have a beautiful image already added. Now it doesn't look great. That's what we want to customize now. So what we can do is come here and change the headline, colors, and fonts and make it bigger, right? So if I select the headline and click on it, now we can change the copy. We can change the size of the font. So if I want to change the size of the font, I can just click and drag it here and make it pretty big. Pretty awesome, right? And let's say if I want to change the actual text. So what I can do is I can click on it, and then I have the option to change my copy here, right? So I'll say health simplified, right? Let's say this is the message I want, or this is the headline, right? And then for the same subheading, what I can do is I can just click on it, delete the existing text, and I say, hey, your health is under your control. And I'm going to make sure that it's center line. And now we have kind of transformed this into something newer and better. Now that still doesn't look great because the font colors and everything else has to be customized again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the headline once again, go into the advanced options, and now we have colors and typography options. So if I click on the typography, now I can change the style to bold. I see it's bolded. I can change the font size once again, and I can do this for different devices. So on desktop, what's the font size, tablets, and mobile phones. I can change the alignment as well, and I can do a lot of things with basically the typography options. Then I can go into the color options and select a color. And now the headline looks much better. And we can do the same thing for the subheading. So I'll go here, go into advanced, click here, and choose the white color. Right? That's done. Now, sometimes what will happen is because the image is too bright, you might not be able to see the text clearly. In this case, it's a little too bright. Even though it works, you might be thinking, hey, what do I do to make sure that the readability of my headline is higher? So that's where the image options also come into play. So once again, we'll select the section, right? I'll click on the section. That is where the image is. Make sure that you're selecting the section. And you see I have some different options here. So inside the background position, you see the image is actually being repeated at the edge here, which doesn't look great. So I'm going to click here and I'll do full screen cover. So it'll just stretch out the image. So it's not repeat itself. Now it looks much better. And I also have an option to dim the background. So right now the image is a little too bright. So I can just take this and say, hey, maybe let's darken the image like this. Already done. And if you don't want to use the black color, you can actually do it with any other color you like. So I'll just click here and let's say I want to add a shade of yellow, and that's done. Now it looks much brighter. So I'm going to just dim the background a little less with this color. So this is 0 and we can do this. So let's say if I wanted to, what I can do is I'll just take a darker shade of yellow. And now I can use the dimming of the background. So it's now a yellowish tint. So this is completely up to you. This is how you design your website, and you can have inspiration on the internet anywhere and figure that out. I'm just demonstrating the options you have. So what I'll do is I'll just go back here and I'll just choose the black color and I'll just keep it somewhere close to something like this. So now I have the typography clear, and in similar fashion, we can basically customize everything. So right now I see the button is in black color. I want to make sure the button is yellow color. So I'll select or click the button, and call to action, I'll replace this to contact us. Right, contact us. And what we can do is once again go into the advanced options. We also have typography here again. So if you want to change the type, you can change it here. So if I go here and change the font size, it can be bigger, smaller, line height, bolded, unbolded, everything similar options. You can also change the background color. So again, if I go here and choose the background color as yellow, now we have a different looking font. You can also change the vertical padding. So if I change the vertical padding, you can see the button can be ridiculously big or small. Horizontal padding again. So if I want to make the button a little taller, I can make the button rounded slightly like this. And I can add borders as well. I'm not going to add a border right now, but you can if you want to. And that's basically it. So till now, what we have understood is that, hey, anything you want to create is basically a click away. So you can add images, you can add backgrounds, you can add text, add buttons, and everything is customizable. The font, the colors, and everything is customizable. And if you want to anytime see, hey, this is how the website is looking like, I can just click a preview and this will take us to a preview option. So now this is how it looks like. Now it still doesn't look great because it's like everything is a little too congested. So let's change the spacing around, right? How do we do that? Let me demonstrate that. So let's say I want to add a little more spacing on the top so that the headline is a little below, and I want to make sure the spacing between the button and the subheading is a little higher, and the button also has some more spacing. So basically for this, we use paddings and margins. Margins and paddings, they're very, very similar, but think of it like this. If I'm hovering over a particular section, if you want to add space inside that, you want to make the boundaries bigger, then you add the padding. But if you want to add space outside that border, then you use the margins. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to bring back the settings here by clicking the arrow. I'm going to click on my headline and I want to add space above the headline. So I'm going to add margin on top. So if I'm going to advanced tab here, I can go to spacing and I have margin here. So I can just go and click or type in basically 100. Now you see I have space on top. And let's say if I want to add more space between the button and the headline here, I can just go to the button, go to advanced and go to spacing. And again, I can add some margin on top. So let's say I do 50. That's a little too much. Let's do 40. And I can also add some margin to the bottom. So let's do 25. And now it looks much better. So if I do this, now you see, hey, it's kind of coming together. Now the headline can be a little bigger in my opinion, right? Because that's the hero section, right? So if I click here, go back here, I can again change the headline to, let's say 85 or even higher. Let's do 95. And now if I click away, and let's say click away the settings, now we have a much nicer looking section. And this is already done. So the process to create a one-page website is exactly like this. You can repeat the same process, but I'm going to show you a few different things you can do. So I'm going to add a new section, and then I'm going to repeat the process a couple of times, and then I'm going to speed up some of the website or some of the process so that I don't make it a 1-hour video, right? So this is how you create one section, but we want to add more sections, right? This is just the beginning. So I'm going to click this button here called Add Section, and this is going to add a new section. So in this section, I want to click Add Columns button, and I want to add 3 different columns. So I'll add 3 columns here, and I'll bring back the settings. Now what I'll do is, most websites you have a place where they demonstrate their services, they show what their services are. So I'm going to demonstrate how to create a beautiful section like that here. So since I already have a 3-column section here, what I can do is I'll just go back here, and I'll take a headline block, and I'll drag it here somewhere here, and I'm going to mess things around a little bit here for a second. I'm going to take a text block again. I'm going to add it here, and I'm going to open the navigation section here, and I'm going to add a new row. So I'm going to duplicate this section, add row, and I'm going to add this here. Let's add it here. Oops. Yeah. So now I have a row on top of the 3 sections, and I'm going to add this. And I'm going to take that headline I just had and add this here. Let's drag it here, and let's drag it here as well. So basically, I've just created a new section which has a headline and another text below it, and then a 3-column layout. And I'm going to just move this around so I can demonstrate what I'm trying to do. So let's click here, and let's change this to how it works. And I'm going to pretend that I'm making a website for, let's say, a medical research or personal health evaluation company. So I've just typed in how it works. I'm going to make it in the center, and I'm going to change this headline to request, let's say receive. Okay. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to make this in the center as well. It's already in the center. I can go into advanced tab, typography. Let's bold this. And I will say letter spacing should be a little lower. So let's try negative values. Yeah, we can do this. So we can squeeze it a little bit like this and increase the font size a little bit like this. Let's try -2. Yeah, this looks nice. So I just use the typography options to add some creative things here. Going back here, we want to add 3 different icons here. And there's no icon block, but you can use images as icons basically, or icons are images. So I'm going to add the icon block here, or image block. I'll drag the image block here once, and I'll add it here as well, here, and I'll add an image block here. Now these are 3 image blocks. I'm going to add the text block just below them as well. So I'm going to take the text block, I'm going to take the text block, and I'm going to add the text block here. So now we have 3 text blocks. So I'm going to change the text block here, and I'll just change this to, let's say, send us your sample, right? And I'm going to change this to we do the research, and we deliver the results to you. Okay, and I'm going to bold all of them. So I'm going to go to typography, and let's do bold, let's do bold, and let's do bold. And I'm going to add the icons now here. So I'll just click here in the image block, and once again I have the option to use my own image. I'll click on the image, and let's do a couple of icons. So I have a few icons downloaded here on my computer. I'm going to search for them. So okay, this one looks good. Let's drag and drop it here. Okay, so it's a simple icon. It's basically a PNG image. So I'll add it here. Okay, this looks nice. It's a little too big, but it's okay. And I'll do this for the second image as well. And let's add this here. And that's done too. Let's click select. And we'll do this for the third image as well. So, oops, I have to select the image first, or click this button first. And let's drag it here and select. So all these are done. So now the images are obviously too big. So let me make them smaller. So if I click on the image, I scroll down, I have the option to change the percentage or the pixel size. So I'll choose the percentage option and let's do around 40%. Yeah, this looks nice. Let's do 40 for this as well. 40. And let's do 40 for this as well. And 40. So now it's kind of coming together, right? So I will also add one more text here. And I'll just say, and let me add some text here. So I'll say, hey, all right. So I've not just added a headline here and it's done. So it's kind of coming together already. And if I just do this and if I click preview, we will see in another tab how it looks like. Now, don't worry about the fonts because sometimes the caching is not updated in real time. So the fonts that we've selected might not look the same thing or same in previews, but once we publish, everything is going to look together. So now it's coming together. We want to change around a little bit of spacing, but the concept is coming together. So let's add one more section. I'm going to just add one more section and we'll try something with it. And basically, if I have to pause for a second and just talk to you guys, the concept of using or creating a website is exactly the same. You have elements, you have things that you can put on top, you can change the text, change icons, typography. Basically with SeedProd, everything is under control. So what I'm going to do is take a few minutes to create the rest of the website and speed up the process and demonstrate how the actual page looks like. Then I'm going to talk about some essential things you will need on a one-page website so that you can actually drive some business from it. So I'll finish building this website and I'll be back in a second. So I just spent a few minutes designing the page and now this is how it looks like. We have a beautiful looking header which we created. We have a nice section here explaining the services. And we have this beautiful section which we are using as this emphasis, and everything is just created directly inside SeedProd. I haven't made images, and this again is a section I added just using SeedProd. Now, one of the most important things for a one-page website, especially if you're trying to drive business, is also getting the contact information. So let me also show you how to actually add a contact form on this website. So what I'll do is first I'll save the page here so that we don't lose any changes, and we'll head back to our website here. So what we can do is, if you want, you can just press the cross button here and we can close this for now. We can publish it later. And we're going to go into the plugins section once again. Now, if you followed along the tutorial till now, then you might have the things already which we'll be using, but we'll go into the plugin section anyway. Go into the plugin section, go into install plugins. Oh, sorry, add new plugins, not install plugins. We'll just click add a new plugin and we'll search for a plugin called WPForms, which is a forms plugin for WordPress. And using forms, we can actually collect information from users. So you can see WPForms is installed already. If you see activate, just click activate. If you see install, click install, and we'll activate it and we'll quickly create a contact form. And then I'll embed that on our page so that we can actually collect user information. So now you see WPForms is also activated. You can see the section here. Just go to add new. We're going to create a new form. And the best part about WPForms is that you have tons of pre-built forms created for you. You don't have to create something from scratch. And you have almost hundreds or even thousands of templates created. So nothing that you want to do is something what I'm trying to say is that you have choices available to you. You don't have to build things from scratch. So I'm going to just click away because I'm demonstrating everything how you can do it here. So now you can see here, you can even generate forms with AI. You have blank forms, contact forms, and I can scroll around and see all the different forms available here. What I'm going to do is stick with the basic simple contact form. Let's say we are just creating a contact form. I'll click use template and this will bring us to the template builder and form builder, and we'll just start working with this. All right. So now we have simple contact form and I'm not going to make any changes. We have the name, first name, last name, email, and comment. And this is what we're capturing. Okay. So basically, if you want to make changes, how this works is very similar to how it works in SeedProd. You have fields here, you drag and drop them and you can customize them. But for now, I'm going to click save so that our form is actually saved. We'll click the cross to exit and I'll go back to SeedProd and our page. So I'm going to go back here to SeedProd. I'm going to go landing pages. And now we have this landing page here, which is the home page. Let's click edit. And just to demonstrate and keep it simple, what I'm going to do is add a new section here. I'll just click the section and add a new section with a single column layout, and now have a new section. Now, the best part about SeedProd and WPForms is that they work together. So you don't have to figure out a lot of complex things to make sure that the form actually looks or actually can be embeddable. So if you see here in the advanced tab, I have a contact form. So if I drag the contact form here, most of our work is done. All we have to do is click here, and then we have the option to select the form. And in this case, oops, I think I need to refresh the page. So let me just quickly refresh, and I'll get back with the video. So I just refreshed the page, and now if we go and click here, we'll see the simple contact form button here. If we select it, now the simple contact form will be embedded automatically. And now you have the same controls that we had to customize the form. So you can add backgrounds, you can make changes, and you also have some display options in which you can show and hide the form name. So now if I click save, and if you want to preview this here, imagine this being on your website, right? I'll just scroll up to the page. You have a nice hero section here. You have a contact button. And if you can, or if you want to, you can just link the contact button directly to the form. So that directs or takes you directly or takes the user directly to the form. Beautiful hero section we have created. And this nice section created. We have this beautiful section again created. And again, we have this section, and we also have a contact form. And once users fill this contact form, you'll be notified via email that, hey, somebody has filled out a contact form. So even though I mentioned 5 minutes, technically you can do it in 5 minutes. This is how you build a one-page website in WordPress for absolutely free and get a ridiculously good deal on website hosting and also a domain name. So that's how you build a one-place website. And if you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments that you're struggling with this, and I'll answer every single question. By the way, you're watching Yuvraj from WP Beginner, your best place to learn about website building and how to grow a website and how to get traffic to your website and how to make more money with your website. So make sure to follow along and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content like this. You're watching Yuvraj from WP Beginner. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.